can read?
I can read? That's right, I can read!
That's right, I can read!
If you haven't seen part 1, I suggest you watch it because none of this is going to make sense to you. I'm going to link it down below. You have 2 seconds to get off this video. 1, 2, or 2, 1. Let's just get into it. Before the movie even started, the dentist had his eye on Marlin since they moved to the drop-off. He also knew that Marlin was about to become a father, so this gave him the opportunity to plant Nemo. During this time, he also created a plethora of animatronic sea creatures, but Nemo had to be special since he'd be taking the place in a real fish family. He would have to be able to portray emotion, so he used fish DNA to create Nemo. But this still doesn't make sense. Let's go to the beginning of the movie. The dentist created a barracuda animatronic, and his sole purpose was to attack Marlin's fish eggs and plant Nemo by any means necessary, even by killing any other fish that stand in the way, aka the wifey. So why didn't the barracuda plant Nemo's egg in the cave so Marlin could easily find it? Well, of course that would be the first place he would look, but that would be way too easy. Why would any fish that attacks a group of eggs leave one egg? That doesn't make sense. So it would only make sense for that egg to be dropped down to the bottom of the ocean near Marlin's home in hopes that he would find Nemo. The dentist knew that if Marlin found Nemo, he'd be super protective over him because his whole family is gone. And as you guys have seen in the movie, Marlin's focus is solely on keeping Nemo safe, which helps the dentist execute his plan to find Dory. This helped the dentist because Nemo is still part fish, meaning that he does need to be nurtured, cared for, and fed just like any other fish. Now let's jump to the drop-off scene. This scene was for the plot, y'all. It was for the plot. Nemo has been waiting for his first day of school. So on Nemo's first day of school, he's excited. Most kids are not excited on the first day of school. Let me tell you now, kindergartners are going to be screaming and crying for their families for the whole day on their first day of school. But Nemo is really excited, not to actually start school, but to start his mission, since Marlin has been super overprotective. And now he has the ability to not have Marlin being overbearing and protective. And since this would be Nemo's first day of school, it would be a chance for him to execute the dentist's plan. As I said, Nemo is programmed to notify the dentist when he finds Dory. But as time passed, the dentist saw that his plan was no longer working with Nemo. Nemo was way too sheltered by Marlin, so he created a new plan. Ironically, on Nemo's first day of school, the dentist notified Nemo to come to the drop-off when the opportunity presented itself. Nemo felt like this was his opportunity to show the dentist what he could do and maybe even make him proud. Since he hasn't been able to find Dory, Nemo and his class goes to a field trip and he sees the other kids going to the drop-off. This was perfect. Now, Nemo had never been out without his father, telling him what to do and what to be careful of, right? So of course he had some curiosity and he followed the other classmates. Then the whole situation, one of the most famous parts of the movie, they're trying to get him to touch the butt, or the boat I should say. And whose boat is that? It's the dentist's boat. The dentist had notified Nemo to come to the boat, but only when Marlin is watching, so that Marlin would know where to look for him. So of course he had to seem like he was scared to do it in front of his peeps, right? And when Marlin gets there, he tells him he wasn't going to do it. But of course, not until he got there, right? And the kids were like, oh yeah, he was scared. He was too scared to do it. And Nemo, of course, was like, no, I wasn't. No, I wasn't too scared. It's all a part of the plot. It's all a part of the plan. Now Nemo's irritated with Marlin. He's over being treated like a baby, especially since he's so smart. He's part robot, of course. And he's even been smarter than Marlin since birth. Well, when Nemo touches the boat, he swims back. This is also for the plot. He swims to where the dentist is so that he can be collected in the bag. Now, I know you're thinking, well, he looks so scared. He's screaming, Dad! Oh, yeah, Dad! Okay, but why is he swimming back and forth like he's meant to go in the bag? Like he's not even trying to swim away. So that doesn't make any sense. You can't tell me otherwise. Just look. Just look. Let me slow it down. He's literally swimming back and forth. If you know his hand is on the side, why wouldn't you swim the other way or straight? This also proves my point. It was for the plot. He had to look like he was scared but he actually knew what was going on. Now, you may be thinking this is too crazy to believe. Why am I even still watching this? But just follow me here. Let's talk about the boat scene. What boat scene? This scene is only like, I want to say less than 5 seconds, but it's so important. When Nemo is on the boat with the dentist takes off his goggles and places it on the edge of the small boat. Now, why would anybody do that with some common sense? It doesn't make any sense as to why you would put your goggles on the edge of the boat knowing there's nothing there but ocean, right? And then he falls and knocks them into the ocean. Was this an accident? No. Oh, this couldn't have been an accident. You know why? Because he's still trying to find Dory. He's still trying to find Dory. Why would you put anything of value on the edge of a boat unless it's intentional? Think about it. Why would this plan be so crazy that it might work? It's because he thinks maybe Marlin will find the goggles, come in contact with Dory while looking for a fish that can actually read. So crazy that it might be actually true. Now, of course, Marlin is looking for someone who's seen the boat, as you guys know. And guess who he finds? Dory. Dory's the only one who acknowledges him swimming around, asking people, have you seen a boat? Have you seen a boat? Now, why would she do this? A, because she recognizes the boat, so that's why she remembers it. Or B, she remembers how it felt when she was looking for her family and no one would listen to her or help her. So she had a connection with Marlin because of this. Now let's skip the scene with all the sharks, which it was actually my favorite scene, but yeah, it has nothing to do with why Dory can read. Why is it that Dory can remember the address, but she can't remember anything else? Make that make sense. Now let's go back to when Dory was in the dentist's basement, when he was testing her. Now, it took her a while to figure out that she could escape and find a way back to the ocean. But while she was there was only one thing that she was able to read. P. Sherman 42 Wallaby Way, Sydney. And why? Because that's the name of his dentist office. He had his business card sitting right next to the bag that Dory was in. So she was there, spending hours and hours reading it over and over again. That's the reason why she was able to memorize it, because it was already in her memory. But what about Nemo? Why doesn't he act like he needs to go back to his dad, like he wants to go back to his dad, like he misses his dad? First of all, they had that whole fallout at the drop-off. They weren't on good terms. But of course, it's for the plot. Everything that Nemo does is for the plot. Remember, Nemo is part robot, part fish. So he knows his purpose is to find Dory, but he didn't. So he knows he needs to get back to the ocean. And since he didn't find Dory, he felt like he started to lose value to the dentist. Why? It's because the dentist told Nemo that he'd be Darla's present. So, of course, after some time, Nemo does miss his father, but he misses him even more so because he doesn't want to be Darla's present. Just look at that fish, like he's dead. He'd much rather live in the ocean with Marlin than live with her. Marlin is the only one who actually showed that he loved and cared about him, unlike the dentist who was just using him. Alright, so let's jump to the end of the movie, because Marlin and Dory attempting to finding Nemo, it literally has nothing to do with the fact that Dory can read. So, once Nemo escapes, he's looking for his dad. He's honestly forgotten about Dory. So Nemo's calling out, looking for his dad, and Dory sees him, looking for someone. She has that connection, just like when she was trying to find her parents. But why doesn't Nemo send a message to the dentist when he finds Dory? He no longer cares. His robot side is starting to slowly die, and it's being replaced with 3 emotions: hate, love, and care. He hates the dentist for making him feel like he was nothing. He felt like he was being used and taken advantage of by the dentist, and when he found out the dentist was going to give him to Darla the fish killer, he grew to have a hate for the dentist. He loves Marlin, and he realizes that he's only trying to protect him because he loves him. And now he knows the feeling of care because he realizes how much Marlin and Dory cared about him, that they would travel across the whole ocean to find him. And he didn't know that someone could care about him that much. So now his fish side outweighed his robot side, and he only felt love and care for Marlin and Dory. This explains why he no longer wanted to help the dentist find Dory. Now he wants to protect her. He made a vow to himself to never communicate with the dentist again. So, this explains everything. Dory can read because she has human DNA inside of her. Nemo is a fish robot, but now only embraces his fish side because of his love and care for Marlin and Dory. This also shows why the dentist is still a broke dentist. He never found Dory because Nemo protected her. So if you like this theory, let me know in the comments what you think. Like, comment, share, and subscribe for more weekly theories.